Hi everyone, it's Mickey here from Pretty Talent, and I'm back with the second video of lesson 6. The first video really was just an introduction to lesson 6, but in the second video I am going to show you how to prepare your journal for this lesson. And so let's get started immediately. I've cluttered myself up a bit, so let me just unclutter. I have started by preparing the different elements. So I have neatly trimmed all the pages, rounded the corners, inked the edges. For most of them, I did not ink the black papers because that doesn't really serve a purpose. So what I have done is this. I started with my watercolor papers. Let me just check that I'm working in the right space here. No, I can move a little bit up. Okay, let me work there. Okay. So I've measured it against my book. Taken my measurements from my book so that it would fit in there. And then I cut this to size. Cut the top off, cut the side off. And these I'm going to keep because when we practice the techniques, these will be brilliant strips of paper that we can practice the techniques on. So all of these cut-offs we set aside. We will return to those. I then pretty much used this paper as a guide to cut the rest of the papers from. So these, for instance, I have trimmed to the same size. So that just meant cutting off the bottoms. And then inked and rounded the corners. I did the same on these. Used the watercolor paper as a guide for the size. Cut off the sides and the top. Rounded the corners, inked the edges. And those are my, oh, and this one. This one I initially thought I would use it on half a page. And then I'm rethinking this now. In any case, I can always cut it smaller. But I can actually use it across 2 pages. I will just have more page showing on the borders. Now, if I don't like that and I decide I want to cut it smaller and use it on a single page, then that is always a possibility. But for now, I'm going to leave it as is, again with the rounded corners. And all I've done is just trim away the excess. So that's as far as the preparation of the papers is concerned. Now, let's get to the book itself. Again, I want to just double check myself. I'm still finding my spacing on this new setup that I've got. Okay, so the last lesson we had, maybe I should do a quick flip through. I'll be very quick. Okay, so that was lesson 1. And I haven't since taken a lot of the papers out because the journal is getting too bulky. This is lesson 2. This is lesson 3 starting. This is lesson 4. This is lesson 5. Kind of double paged that. Lesson 5. Oh, this is just a loose paper. Why don't I slip that in here? It will go so nicely in here. Yes, I'm just going to leave it there. And this is the, oh, still 5. Finishing 5, going on to lesson 6. So this will be the start of lesson 6. Now, how do we mark this? We have where on earth is my thingies? Okay, so I have prepared these tabs beforehand. I've punched it out with my tab punch. And now all I'm going to do is to put some double-sided tape on this. On the insides. And then I'm going to write with my pen, which I don't know what I've done with it. Oh my goodness, oh here it is. I'm going to write my pen is not compliant. Oh, no, no. What is it with my pens today? I have to have another, oh, there'll be another pen in here. Off to a bad start with the pens. Lesson 6. And I like to write it on both sides, so it doesn't matter which side of the journal I'm coming from. I can see that it's the start of lesson 6. So now, I remove the backing of the double-sided tape. That one is at the bottom, so this one can start back at the top. And there we go. Now I can attach it properly. Okay, and that's my mark for lesson 5. The start of lesson 5. Now, my first note here in my journal, remember every journal is going to be different, says that I am to remove these pages. So that is what I will proceed to do. Let me take that out. I am simply going to take these pages and tear them out. And I can already see my journal is loose here, so I'll have to fix that again. It's an easy fix. I'm going to turn my journal around, I think. See if I can't get a nicer removal of the pages. Not really. Here's a lovely picture that I'm losing. I'll probably use it somewhere else. That did not do anything neater and tidier for me. So let me just remove this excess here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is to put some glue in there, and then I'm going to fix that. Now this says glue, oh, it's not going to be mixed media, it's going to be watercolors, and then it says I'm going to create a pocket. Okay, so I have, I think, a little bit more pages than I really need. The watercolor paper will give me enough of a backing here, so I'm going to remove one more page. This will be the watercolors back to back on those. Then I'm going to create the pocket now. And I think I'm going to do a very simple yeah. Maybe not. Maybe. How about this rather? Fold this one over. No, I have to fold to the side. I'm wrong about the side it's folding to. So I'm tearing it halfway out. And then I'm folding it down. Yep, that'll do it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to glue this area here, and I don't mind a bit of glue there on the spine of the book because that'll just strengthen it a little bit. Okay, so glue that down properly. Nicely done. Okay, and then I'm going to, oops, here's a goes a whole lot of glue, which I'll just put here because I'm going to glue it here now. Okay. Shall I do a half circle punch maybe? Oh, someone has been using this and not emptying it. I do like these openings on my pockets, and they're not entirely necessary, but I like them. I think while I've got it going like this, I'm going to try and ink this a bit. It's a bit wet. Honestly, if you've got a bit of time, then oh, I'm inking the wrong side. Then I would say just wait for the glue to dry before doing this inking and whatever. But well, I'm on the video now and I want to continue working, so makes it a tad difficult. Now you don't have to glue here. I'm doing that because my book is coming apart. But we are then gluing at least the bottom and the side. I'm going to have seepage here. And that's our first pocket here. This glue I'm going to put there. It's this glue that I picked up that was seeping. Now I need to glue another pocket. And so I am going to do the same kind of thing where I tear the page out halfway. I fold it in to this side. Let's just work like this. Okay. Maybe you know what? I'm going to make it so much easier on myself if I just trim this slightly away. Okay. It makes it so much easier to work with. This time let me punch before I start gluing. And I do very much the same thing. Just glue all over here, fold it down, glue shouldn't be there. Right. Again, I like the idea of the inking there, even though the glue is extremely wet. I really should have used an ink blender for this inking. Anyways, I didn't, so. Again, getting the glue in the spine, because the book is coming apart a little bit. And that's the second pocket. Now this page, actually not going to be part of the pocket. I'm going to tear it out. Okay. So, shall I do this now? I think so. I'm literally just squeezing glue into the spine there. To keep it intact. Glue is going to come off on your finger like that. That's fine. That is fine. Okay, so now this said remove. I'm going to remove one more than is necessary, but let's see. And the story that I'm at is David Copperfield. It doesn't have a lot of illustrations, very few, and then these brownish, I love these vintage brown illustrations, but I'm not going out of my way to save them in the journal. And if you've watched the previous videos, you will see that I have managed to put them back, but I'm not working with the pages per se to save them. Glue, craft paper, and a pocket. Okay, so those are the removable pages. And we're going to have another watercolor paper here. And now we're going to have another pocket here. I wonder if we should have a pocket. No, let's do have the pocket. I'm going to leave that one single because the watercolor paper will strengthen it. And what I'm going to do here, I can actually take one more out. So let me do that. That one will then be watercolor, watercolor. And this will be the pocket. And what I'm going to do is one of these folded side pockets. I like those as well. They're very nice to work with. So let's do the same thing. I don't always do this for these, but it doesn't have to be in the center. Okay, but let's do it. Okay. Punch it in the center. Let's ink it first. Okay, it's going to be on this side. Ink it. Now let's open it. Right, and once you've got it flat, you then proceed. I'm going to do this line of glue again just to strengthen my spine. And then I'm going to just glue the sides. Bring this page over. Okay. Now I should be leaving this be so it can dry first, but I'm going to continue a little bit longer so that you can see the video, what it is we're doing. Okay, so the same thing, but to this side. I'm just going to work with these mirror images pockets today. That kind of appeals to me. So let's do this. Now I've got to make sure that they're over each other. Yeah, they are. Well, close enough. And ink it. It's like a kind of pocket factory I've got going here. Right, and then glue it down on the sides. I keep strengthening the spine. If your book is not coming apart, you don't have to do that, but I am trying to save my book a bit. Okay, right, this one I'm going to remove along with the rest. We're taking quite a few pages out today, eh? Oh, nice picture. There's been a few that I've taken out. I think that's the third one already. These pages that we are removing will be brilliant for the journals that are flapping open like that. So I'm not too sad about taking those out. I should someday do a lesson on what to do with those papers, but maybe after we're finished with the journals and we're certain what's left over and what not. Okay, so this is where we put our writing paper. And then I've said pocket. Now, how many pages did I leave for my pocket? I left loads. 1, 2. Wait. Oh, yeah, these pages glued together. I don't know. Okay, I've left 3. I think let's do something like a top or side pocket. Well, let's do a top maybe. Okay. This page will be strengthened with a writing paper. So I'm not going to make that a double page. But I will make this a double page. Okay, so let me count 1, 2, 3. and actually the next 3 as well. And what I'll do is I'll just punch all of them together here at the top. Oh, that was a hard one to press through. It's a lot of pages for that little punch. Okay, so that one not. This is a double page. Right, and then we're going to glue. Doesn't really feel like it needs glue here in the spine, so let me put a thin line of glue down there. Why not? Okay, and then only on the sides. Come on, the glue's not coming out. Okay, only on the sides and the bottom, so that you've got the opening at the top. Right, page over. It's a lot of wet pages to have on one side. Honestly, it's best if you give this a chance to dry in between, making the different pockets. But yeah, okay, it is what it is now. So, okay, so these, oh, well, I'm gonna have to lose that picture. That's sad, but it is what it is. I don't like losing pictures. I'm still sitting in my head thinking, how can I save it? I can't. I just can't, and I must make my peace with it and move on. Right, so I'm gluing 2 pages together. And then I am not the top. My goodness, woman. This is because I'm still thinking I want to save the picture. I must stop thinking about that picture. It's done now. And concentrate on what I'm doing. Okay, so now we've got 2 pages with top pockets here. And again, we're going to remove a whole lot of pages. And then we're going to get those mixed media pages in here for the glass pens with the inks that we're going to work with. So, why do I keep putting everything on the same pile? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're just ripping pages out today. So that one's getting the mixed media. This one's getting the mixed media. Glue mixed media. And what have I got? And a pocket. Oh goodness, there I've got a little picture going. That's nice. Well, then maybe let's do something else. Let's take one more page out. Yes, I'm catching myself before I go too far. So those 2 will be mixed media backed. Then this one can do better. I'm going to take this one out as well. Because instead of a pocket, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that as is. And then I'm going to fold this in. Let me just put the book aside so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to fold this page in on itself. And then I'm going to fold it in on itself again. So that I've got that going. Then I'm going to glue that. I'm going to glue that. Lovely. I'm going to get my ink. Ink the sides. And right now it feels a bit wobbly because it's still wet from the ink, but that will be better soon, as soon as it's dry at least. Oh, I didn't work straight here, so let me just trim that so it's straight. The top is fine. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to put this in here as a belly band. Yeah, I like that. Or shall I? No, I can always come with something on top. I was wondering if I should put something at the bottom, but I think I'd rather put something at the top. And so now I'm just going to glue the top and the bottom. And I put the belly band in place, and that's a nice little tuck spot for whatever we want to put in there. Okay, not putting anything in because it's still very wet. Right, now here we need to glue a pocket as well, and I have left pages for it, but I doubt I'm going to use them, because I think what I would rather do is use one of these pages I've taken out. Fold it over like that. I'm not too keen on, no, can't do that. I do need the torn side. Do I need the torn side on the inside? Hang on. Look, I do need the lettering to be the right way up. That's a given. If I put the torn side on this side, instead of on that side, and I'd have to do something here, you see. Now, let's bring in this tape. But wouldn't it still be easier with the straight side? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so let me just flip this over again. How many times have I now flipped it? Okay, anyways. trimming that little thing straight there so that this can go in, tuck neatly in there. Yeah, that'll be fine. See a little bit of this, and I actually think instead of working against it, I'm going to work with that unevenness and rather lift it out than hide it. Not going to punch that. Okay, I'll have to ink this side later on. Wait, come on. I really should work on the inking thing. Okay, now let's ink all of this. Glue all of this. Neatly lined up. Everything perfect. Well, it's not neatly lined up and everything is not perfect. Let's try again. Okay, now it is. Is this enough of a circle? Here's my pencil. It probably is. And so all I'm going to do is cut along that line. And then, when I put in this pocket, I've got a library pocket going. That's nice. Okay. Ink the edges. And now we need to decide, are we going to glue it here or not? I think not. So only here, oops, let me show you what I'm doing. Only here and at the bottom. And so we've got a library pocket and a belly band going. Right. When we turn the page, this was still supposed to be pockets, but we haven't used it, so we can now get rid of this. Let me just organize myself. I have forgotten where I'm at. That's watercolor paper. Hang on. I got two openings for watercolor paper. I do believe I have. Watercolor, watercolor. Well, in that case, this is going to be writing paper. This is going to be no, this is going to be the white paper. Oh my goodness, let me put the paper in so I can keep proper track of this. This is going to be watercolor paper. I don't want it to get glued, but anyways. This then is also going to be watercolor paper. Right. This is going to be writing paper. Obviously. Pockets. This is going to be mixed media paper. And this will be mixed media paper. Right. Those are the ones that said remove. Now we want to glue a craft paper pocket. Oh, okay, I know what I wanted to do here. You see, here I want to keep this page. Maybe not craft paper. Maybe just use what we have. So, if we are going to use this page, I like that, which is a little odd, I suppose. And I'd like to keep that. So maybe what I will do is just do half a page. So let me take one more out. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm going a little bit off script this time. More than I've done so in the past. Maybe that's just the mood I'm in today. I don't know. I'm going to loose this halfway. I'm going to fold it in. And over. Yes, I like that. This time I'm not going to cut a hole because I want to keep that word. I will ink the top. And I'm going to glue this. And then only the bottom and the side, although I still want to put a little in the spine. Look at all that glue coming out. Okay, anyways. Right. That is that. This one, it would seem I didn't plan for any pocket, which is not something I have to accept of myself. I can do this. And just do a little side pocket here. Because those pages said remove. So I can do this now. I can glue. Okay. That's fine. I can glue these two pages together. And then the next one, only at the top and the bottom, maybe a little bit in the spine to strengthen it. Here's another picture that's going to come out. Okay, so that's the pocket, that's this pocket. That means this writing paper will come here and we're moving again. So now we're losing another picture. Oy. Well, they're not lost because they're still available for use elsewhere. Right. And so that would be the lined paper. And we want a pocket. So that one goes there. What do we do for a pocket here? What haven't we done yet? That should be interesting. We haven't done the triangular pockets yet, have we? I don't think so. Shall we do those? How about we triangle them? Yeah. Let's not complicate things now. I can lose one more. Okay, so that'll be the backing paper. This one will be triangled like that. Right. And then side and bottom. Let's do another triangle here. Put it to the other side. Okay. Got a nasty fold there, but that'll be straightened. Okay. Then here, side and bottom. And then our last one is this one. So let's see. That still said glue pocket, but that's fine. We will just put this here. That is the planning of our journal. Now, as always, we'll first create the artworks and then we'll stick these add-in papers down. But that's how we prepare the journal for this workshop. Loads of papers that we've taken out today. We'll keep them for another project or for later in the same journal. I'm going to say cheers for now. We will start working on the actual journal for the next video, but for now, this was the journal prepping. Bye guys.